Hey fam club, a little over a month ago, Lost Origin was released, and we're about a month away from Silver Tempest. I thought this would be a great time to look at what were the most valuable cards on release day, where they are now, and what the current top 10 most valuable cards are in Lost Origin. This is a great example as to why you should never FOMO and give it time to get the cards you really want. Let's get into it. Back on release day, the number 10 most valuable card was the Gold Mew VMAX from the Trainer Gallery. It was selling for $37.78. This is a sick card. I really love it. It's very playable in the TCG, but it's fallen out of the 10th spot all the way down to the 20th spot. And now it sells for only $10.79. That's a huge drop in price from release day. People must have thought that these cards were going to be much harder to get than they are. I've seen them pulled many, many times online. It's a great card to have in your collection, but very easy to get and very inexpensive. What's now in the top 10 spot is the Giratina V full art card. Now on release day, this was the 5th most expensive card, and it was selling for $58.90. But it's since dropped to the 10 spot and sells for about $16.36. This is in one of the top 3 decks, so it's very playable as well. And so I think that's commanding a little bit more of a price, but as you can see, it's still pretty inexpensive. If you figure every pack is about $4 a pack, spending the equivalent of about 4 packs worth to get a full art is really not too bad of a deal. If you go rip them yourself, it could take you forever to pull this card. Now coming in the 9th spot on release day, it was the Rainbow Gudra V-Star. This card is also still playable, but nowhere near as high of a playable card as the Mew or the Giratina. But on release day, it was selling for almost $40. It's since dropped also out of the top 10 spot all the way down to 16, and it's selling for only $12.10. Again, if you're a fan of Gudra, I think he's super cute, but I'm not going to go chasing down this card. You can buy it outright for $12. That's basically the equivalent of 3 packs of cards. If you want this in your collection, you're better off just buying the single at this point. Now, taking over the spot for the 9th spot is Colress's Experiment. On release day, that card was selling for about $18. It's still selling for about the same, give or take $1. This is also another highly desirable card in the current meta for the TCG game. It's used in decks. It lets you look at the top 5 cards, keep 3, and put 2 in the Lost Zone. Putting stuff in the Lost Zone is very handy for some of those new Lost Zone decks, and it gets you 3 cards, so it's a great deal. And it's, as I said, it's still selling for about $18. Last price I checked, it was $17.37. Coming in the 3rd spot on release day was the Kyurem VMAX. This is used in a deck as well. It's not in the top 5, I don't believe, but it's in the top 10. However, on release day, this card was selling for $40. It's since dropped from the 8th spot all the way back to the 13th spot, and it's selling for about $14 at this point. Taking over the 8th spot is the Giratina V-Star. I didn't have a value for that on release day, but it's currently selling for about $28.55, which is pretty expensive. However, again, the Giratina V-Star is a highly desirable card to play in the game. A lot of people love Giratina. It's a rainbow rare, so it's hard to pull, and so that's giving it a more expensive price. Still, $30 is not insanely bad. I wouldn't pay it. I'm hoping to pull it eventually. On release day in the 7th spot was the Pikachu VMAX Gold card. I love this card. It's so awesome. It's the equivalent of the Chonkachu. It's the equivalent of the Chonkachu from Vivid Voltage, only it's black and gold. On release day, it was selling for $41. That's cut all the way down to under $10. This card has not proven to be very difficult to pull. It's not really used in very many decks that I'm aware of. So you can get it very cheap if you want it in your collection. It's definitely not worth chasing by opening packs, but you know, if I don't get this by the end of my purchasing of Lost Origin, I would definitely pay $10 for this card. Now in the number 7 spot is a card that used to be the number 2 spot. On release day, it was selling for almost $100. It's dropped back to the 7th spot and it's selling for $30. And that's the gold Giratina V Star. Super awesome card. I think it's way cooler than the Rainbow Rare. And, but it's selling, what is this? It's selling for basically the same price. Between the two, I would definitely choose this card. $30, still not worth buying as a single unless you play the game and you're building the deck. Hopefully you pull it as you keep ripping cards in Lost Origin. Into the 6th spot is used to be the regular Giratina V Star. It was on release day, it was selling for $42. People were just FOMOing. Maybe they were trying to be the first to build this deck. Maybe they just don't care about money. They were paying $42. It's fallen from the 6th spot all the way back to the 15th spot. And it's now selling for $12.75. As you see, most of these cards have they're cut by 75% of their original value. So waiting a month is definitely advised for almost all of these cards. There's pretty much only one exception in here that I can remember. I take that back. There's 2 exceptions in here. Anyways, coming in at the 6th spot now is the Pikachu V from the Trainer Gallery. Super awesome card. I can't wait to pull it. It looks so much better in person than on these digital images we have. It was selling for $25. It's gone up a little bit. It's probably proven much more difficult to pull. Way more people want it. It's shot up a little bit in price to $31.83 when I last checked. But still, it's not a huge raise in price. And again, it's one that I would just keep trying to pull as you continue to open Lost Origin. Until you give up on Lost Origin, you want to move on. I wouldn't just flat out buy that card. In the 5th spot on release day was the Giratina V All Art. We already saw that drop back to the 10th spot. It was going for $60 on release day. It's dropped down to $16. Huge drop in desirable cards. Back to the 10th spot. Still a desirable card though. Taking over its spot in the 5th spot, which makes more sense, is the Galarian Berserker V Alt Art. Super awesome card. That card was only going for about $30 on release day. It's gone up a little bit to $40 now. People are probably trying to complete their alt art collections. More people have decided that they like this card, and the value and the expense has gone up a little bit. Now, in the 4th spot on release day was the Aerodactyl V Alt Art. Super awesome card. I was super lucky to get this card already in a blister pack I ripped. In fact, it's the only blister pack I've ripped so far. I've got a stack of about 10 more that I need to rip. It was selling for $80. We'll see later on. This has gone up a little bit because it's also moved up in the value rank. It was at the 4th place. We're going to see where it is in a little bit. Taking over the new 4th place is the Rotom V Alt Art. Another super awesome card, a card I was fortunate enough to pull on this channel. The Rotom V was going for $42.78. That's gone up just a tiny bit, about $5. It's now $48. Super awesome card, fairly hard to pull, but not impossible. In the 3rd spot, on release day, it was the Pikachu V Max. It was selling for $94.94. $100. That's super expensive. It has stayed in the 3rd spot, but it has cut in price by almost 50%. It's now $51. Again, sorry guys, I got lucky and I pulled this one. Of course, that allowed me to do an extra giveaway on the giveaway video of the month. We had four winners for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. We do giveaways every month, and there'll be more coming soon. And Christmas is coming. I got lots of plans for the 12 days of Christmas, so stay tuned. Anyways, I love this card. It's my favorite card in the set. Would I shell out $50 for it? No. We're going to have Lost Origin for a year at least. Coming in different box sets that we get, I would not FOMO and buy quite yet. I'd wait it out. It shouldn't be an insanely hard to get card. Now, formally, in the number 2 spot on release day for how expensive cards were, the Giratina V Star gold card was number 2. It was selling for $100. As we saw, that dropped back to the 7th spot, and it's only $30 now, so it's 70% off of release day prices. Now, the new number 2 card, though, as you might guess, is the Aerodactyl V alt art. Super awesome card. A lot of people have decided they really want this card now. It was at $80 on release day. It's gone up to $122 when I last checked a few days ago. That is what, a 30% increase, something like that. Quite an increase, $40 increase. So actually, it might be a 50% increase. Super awesome card, very expensive now. If you got to have it, you got to have it. I would just keep trying to pull it until you decide you can't. My thoughts on alt arts are you either get lucky getting them or not getting them. It's too expensive to be in this game and try to get every alt art. If you got the money and the means and that's your thing, go for it. For most of us, we're just gonna have some fun, rip some cards. If we get an alt art, it's just a super awesome day, super awesome part of our collection. And we keep having fun. Move on to the next set and have fun with that one too. And of course, in the number 1 spot is that Giratina V alt art. It has not moved. It was number 1 on release day. It's number 1 now. The price hasn't moved. Apparently, the value was set, and people have been willing to pay it, and it's not moved at all. It's $221 and some change. It's still $221 and some change. Again, super awesome card. If you get it, you're crazy lucky. It looks really cool in person. It's not my number 1 chase. I already got my number 1 chase, the Pikachu VMAX, and my number 2 chase, the Aerodactyl V. Those are my top 2 cards from this set. Let me know down below what's your top card, how many of these chases you've gotten, how many of the top 10 you've gotten, what your chases are. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave us a thumb up, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.